Today we're going to talk about the stomach and how the stomach is a really important part within the digestive system. So the digestive system is really important on its own, but you have to remember that there are other portions of the body that your body has that are also extremely important. So the digestive system works to balance your body, and it works in all humans in order to balance their different nutrition levels from the food that they consume. So there's two different tracts, and sometimes it's called the atrial tract. And this is the food that goes through your mouth down and all the way down to your anus. So there's different parts of your body that are really important. For example, the mouth, the stomach, as well as the liver. There's bigger portions of the digestion, like your mouth and your stomach and your intestines. But then there's also parts of your digestive system that still connect and work with the digestive system, and they are important, but they are not the major parts of the digestive system, such as your teeth or your liver, as well as your pancreas and your appendix. And we will still describe how these work within the digestive system today. So the stomach has three very important jobs. The first one, obviously, food and water when it goes into your mouth. Remember, it first enters into your mouth, and it's broken down. It really works to break it down. And it creates this small ball within your mouth. Now your body's for absorption. The food doesn't just go through your body extremely quickly and you poop it out, but it needs to absorb the different nutrients that your body, or that the food for your body provides. So there's things like sugar and proteins, and there's also fats and vitamins. Those are all very important for your body to collect from the food that you put into it. And your bloodstream is used to distribute these different nutrients throughout your entire body. So this is really important, this digestive system and the way your body works together. And the last thing we'll talk is whether it's just left in your body or how it gets out. So everything you eat and drink, it's not all just processed in your body and left there, but it goes through your large intestine, and your body is responsible for the feces that leave the body. So for example, if we pretend to be a chicken sandwich or a hamburger, and we follow the digestion system of it going all the way down, starting at the mouth, it's really important to know where it goes and what happens to it. So we're going to focus on three different things within the digestive system, which is the process of its digestion, the absorption process of the nutrients that enter into the bloodstream, and then also how you get rid of what your body doesn't need. So first, you're going to put the food into your mouth, and it's going to be mixed with saliva, which comes from saliva glands within your mouth. And your teeth are going to be used to break down the food just slightly, not entirely, but it breaks down the food just a little bit. So it breaks down the sugar into smaller particles, and it becomes this ball that's called bile. And that goes down the esophagus. And next, the esophagus connects to the stomach. And that same little ball goes into the stomach and is mixed with stomach acid. And the stomach looks like this big bowl that's mixing with acid, and the stomach has this lining within it. And that works as the muscle to help open up and contract to further break down food. So as I said, the food is mixed with this special acid in your stomach to help break it down even further. So this lining on the inside of your stomach is made out of obviously acid as well as water, and then it also has enzymes, which are extremely important when you need to further break down the food. It kind of works as scissors to cut through the food and break them down even further. So your proteins are broken down here by these enzymes, and they're broken down a lot. So if you eat a food that have a lot of proteins within them, your stomach's gonna work longer to break them down. But if you were to eat food that has maybe just water and sugar and not a lot of protein, your stomach, they won't have to stay long in your stomach in order to digest them. So your stomach is connected to your small intestine. That's where the food travels next. So like I said before, the digestive system has really important parts, and this small intestine is probably the most important part. The small intestine is probably about 150 feet long, and this small intestine has something that's really special within it that helps collect the different nutrients and vitamins that your body produces. And the intestine is also, before it enters the intestine, your liver will take in some of the less important parts of the food that your body can't really process, as well as your pancreas. Um, like I said, these aren't as important parts of the digestive system, but they do digest different parts of your food. So when it moves from the stomach to the small intestine, it further breaks down the food. And it breaks down the sugar into something even smaller that they call amino acids. So remember, when it enters your mouth, it's not yet broken down. When it comes to your stomach, it's broken down a little bit further, but when it gets to your small intestine, it becomes amino acids, which is what your body uses. So that's really important. And the last part of the small intestine, before you ate your hamburger and broke it down within your mouth and mixed it with the saliva, and it moved down to your stomach, your body needs the energy within that. So it's going to work really hard and carefully to move that food down through your intestine to your stomach. So the small intestine is connected to the bloodstream to transfer the different sugar, proteins, and fats that your body will need. Your small intestine has something called the duodenum as well as the jejunum, and those are helpful as well in breaking down these different parts of your food. And within these are these little feelers called villi, and those help to collect some of these different, it absorbs some of these different nutrients and vitamins within the bloodstream, and they're very important within the digestive system. The jejunum doesn't have as many villi within it, but it's still very important in collecting different parts of the food in order to make it to the bloodstream. So when the intestines are finished processing the food further and collecting different portions of the important parts of the food, it moves to the large intestine, which is also called the colon. So breaking down the food, and it moves to the stomach and then to the small intestine. You have to understand that the last portion of the breakdown is the larger intestine, but we can't just leave it there. It doesn't just break down the food and leave it within your body. You cannot just leave it there. You must get rid of it. Your body must move it outside of your body in order to continue the body's system in working correctly. So the large intestine is what's really important during this process, and it's called the colon as well, as I said earlier. And it moves up the right side of your body, across, and then down the left side of your body, and it connects to your rectum. So there's the appendix connected between the intestines, and we're never really sure what the appendix is used for. Many people have just had it taken out, and they've still survived, but you have to be careful because the appendix can burst within your body and you can die from that. So you have to be very careful. You might have to go to the hospital. So, like I said before, the small intestine is connected to the larger intestine, and this is the portion of the food that your body can no longer break down any further. But the large intestine is really important. Your body uses it to help absorb some of the water out of the food that you've consumed. So there's the ascending part of the colon on the right side of your body that moves up, and then it goes across the middle of your body, and then it goes down the descending portion of your colon. And then it has this S shape there. And that's where it gets to the very last important part of the digestive system, which is your rectum. And at this point, you have made feces, which would be the same as what you consider poop. And the feces collect on the top of the rectum. And they collect on the inside of the intestines, where I said before the inner lining of this large intestine is different than any other organ of your body, and it's very important in absorbing the water and working to just collect some of the water that was within the food that you consumed. So the large intestine also has bacteria within it, but this is good bacteria that helps break down the food and collect different parts of the food that are really important. And this nutrients also allows the bloodstream to continue working well and not to close up or blood clot. That's what this bacteria also helps with. So the large intestine does some things that the small intestine cannot do. And like I said before, the large intestine moves up the right side, across, and then down the left side of the body to the S shape, and then where it starts collecting in the rectum, which is this special small tube that connects. And when it becomes full, and you can feel it. There's a signal sent to your brain that lets you know that you need to poop. And here at the bottom of your rectum, you have your anus, which is where the feces is secreted out of the body. And you have both an internal and an external muscle. The internal muscle you can control, that helps you release and also hold in the feces before you decide to secrete them from the body. But after you release and you begin pooping, the external muscle will release and allow you to poop.